On March 26, 2023, tens of thousands of Israelis gathered in Tel Aviv to protest against proposed changes to the country's judicial system. The demonstration was organized by a coalition of civil society organizations, including human rights groups, legal advocacy organizations, and grassroots movements. The proposed changes to the judicial system have been a source of controversy in Israel for several months. The Israeli government, led by Prime Minister, has put forward a series of bills that would fundamentally alter the way judges are appointed and remove many of the checks and balances that currently exist in the system. Critics argue that these changes would undermine the independence of the judiciary and threaten the rule of law in Israel. The protest in Tel Aviv was one of the largest demonstrations in Israel in recent years. Participants carried signs with slogans such as "Hands off our judges" and "Protect our democracy." Many of the protesters were wearing black, a symbol of mourning for the potential loss of judicial independence. The demonstration was peaceful, with participants chanting slogans and listening to speeches by prominent legal scholars and civil society activists. However, there were also a number of clashes between protesters and police. Some protesters attempted to break through police lines to reach the Knesset, Israel's parliament, where the proposed bills were being debated. Prime Minister has accused the judiciary of being out of touch with ordinary Israelis and of pursuing a political agenda. However, many legal experts and civil society activists argue that the proposed changes would in fact make the judiciary more vulnerable to political pressure and undermine its ability to uphold the rule of law. The proposed changes include reducing the number of judges on the Supreme Court from 15 to 11, giving the Justice Minister more power to appoint judges, and requiring a supermajority in the Knesset to overturn a Supreme Court ruling. The bills have been heavily criticized by legal experts, who argue that they would undermine the independence of the judiciary and allow the government to exert greater control over the legal system. The protest in Tel Aviv was just one of several demonstrations that have taken place across Israel in recent weeks in opposition to the proposed changes. The Israeli legal community has also been vocal in its opposition, with many judges, lawyers, and legal scholars speaking out against the bills. The proposed changes to the judicial system are part of a broader push by the Israeli government to consolidate power and limit the influence of dissenting voices. The government has also introduced a controversial bill that would restrict the activities of non-governmental organizations, NGOs, that receive funding from foreign governments. Critics argue that this bill is designed to silence civil society organizations that are critical of government policies. In conclusion, the protest in Tel Aviv against the proposed changes to the judicial system highlights the deep divisions within Israeli society over the role of the judiciary and the importance of preserving the rule of law. While the Israeli government has defended the proposed changes as necessary to combat corruption and ensure accountability, critics argue that they would undermine the independence of the judiciary and threaten the very foundations of Israeli democracy. As the debate over these bills continues, it is likely that tensions will continue to rise and that protests and demonstrations will become more frequent and more intense. If you like this video, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more international affairs videos.